If you don't know the legal contracts that are present in your current organization, how exactly will you minimize and manage the risk of the organization?
Welcome to the fourth episode of the Prodcast by Jupitice. For today's episode, we have here with us Ms. Sanya Wadhwa, Pre-Sales Technical Engineer at Jupitice.
Jupitice Contract Lifecycle Management System is a digital platform that actually takes care of a contract that comes into an organization for its entire life cycle, from contract creation to its expiry or its renewal, as the case goes, is all managed in that particular system. Let's say you have 1,000 contracts, take 1,000, may say 500 may be due for renewal in the next week. Maybe 10 are due for renewal in the next month. You can have a small little cute sa calendar. Just there'll be dates marked with the renewal wala logo or maybe expiry wala logo as well as you want it. And you can very easily track that which contracts are actually due for renewal or expiry or what all obligations are pending from your end and need to be taken care of.
Welcome to the fourth episode of the Prodcast by Jupitice. This is where we bring to you real conversations with people that are building systems that power legal, compliance, and governance for modern enterprises. In today's world, every business runs on contracts, vendor agreements, procurement contracts, partnership deals, NDAs, and many more. But here's the catch. Most organizations still manage their contracts how they used to do 15 years ago. Emails, scattered documents, spreadsheets. So today we're going to talk about technology that's going to transform the entire process. For today's episode, we have here with us Ms. Sanya Wadhwa, Pre-Sales Technical Engineer at Jupitice. She has been deeply involved in building the Jupitice Contract Lifecycle Management System for enterprises, a platform that helps the organizations manage thousands of contracts efficiently. Sanya, welcome to the show. So Sanya, before we dive into the actual product, I want to know your journey. So how did you enter the world of legal tech and product building?
All right. So, Stuti, I started off as a general commerce graduate, had always been into accounts, into business, into economics. But as a commerce student, technology that used to be actually uprising at that point of time used to seem very interesting, very intriguing. And I was never able to completely understand what used to be going on around me everywhere in all the industries. So I then decided to pursue my master's from a technical college to get a better, deeper insight into what's actually going on in general around the world. So after that, after my MBA, of course, I started my job in the IoT industry. I moved to telecom and IT sector and then went on to become a consultant. And well, after that, again, all through, I have been a pre-sales person, and here I am now in another industry in Jupitice as a legal tech personnel.
So, Sanya, let's talk about the ground reality. When we talk about contracts in Indian enterprises today, so what does the actual scenario look like?
So, Stuti, before we dive into that, let me just ask you a general question. What do you think is the approximate annual number of contracts that an enterprise manages?
Around 5 to 10,000.
All right. So that number is far, far, far from the actual reality.
So is it higher or is it?
Yes, it's way higher. So any medium or any large enterprise manages approximately 20,000 to 40,000 contracts annually.
It's quite a lot.
Yes, it is. And well, any of these contracts, the legal department, of course, is obviously involved in all of the contract making process. But there are a lot of clauses that are actually similar and stay very static across different kinds of contracts. Then even if you try to compare 3 different, say, vendor contracts, you will see that a lot of different clauses remain same again. But every contract that is made in any legal organization or in any kind of organization, a legal personnel has to make every contract from scratch. He has to verify and re-verify every last detail. And then even the approval workflow is a tedious process. Most of the approval process takes place through email chains. And the entire process, including the signing and execution of the final contract, takes approximately 3 to 4 weeks. That is a very long timeline for any contract, right? And then even if you talk about storing and managing these contracts, These contracts are mostly stored across various different departments in different drives, in different folders. A particular department could maybe managing their contracts and tracking all the compliances in, say, an Excel table tracker, right? Another department could be using shared drives, and maybe the finance or the admin department is just keeping their contracts in the email chains. And well, then there is the most direct reasoning that we can give, that people are keeping some contracts in just their personal drives, which actually leads to loss of a lot of contracts. There are approximately 12 to 15% contracts that are generally lost and unaccounted for in a year in any kind of organization. So this is just the operational reality of it, right? If we dive into the financial or the legal aspect of it, there's approximately 9.2% revenue loss that any organization faces yearly due to loss of different kind of contracts, or even just loss of compliances or renewal dates. And there are a lot of litigations involved as well. Approximately 60% of disputes that a company has to face are due to contractual obligations and compliances.
Agree.
So there are a lot of issues that every organization today is facing, just because contract management is so decentralized, so fragmented, and there is no proper management or tracking of any kind for this system.
That actually sounds quite alarming, but the challenges, they must be different depending upon the roles in an organization. So can you break that down for us?
Oh, of course. Let's take a deeper look into how contractual issues actually affect the organization and different departments. So if we talk about the general departments that are involved, there is, of course, the legal department. There is the head of the legal department, right? So with such a huge volume of contracts that are being managed in an organization, the legal head does not have a single cumulative view of the entire system, right? There are maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 100 legal personnel working under that head. But he does not know that for verification, for obligation tracking, for compliance monitoring, which all contracts need to be taken care of. Right? So that is the major issue that the legal departments face. Then if you talk about, let's say, the procurement or the vendor management department, there are again a lot of contractual obligations that are involved there. There are a lot of service level agreements that are done in every kind of contract, in every kind of organization. And these service level agreements need to be very crisp and still very detailed to make sure that everything is covered. So there's a lot of issue in tracking that as well. There could be many missed renewal deadlines as well. Let's say that there is a vendor whose membership you have maybe taken. The membership fee for renewal could be, let's say, 10,000 rupees. But when you go about re-registering with that vendor for that same license, the fee could go in lakhs. So that is again a financial as well as an operational obligation that the company has to face. Then if you go like, let's say, for the chief risk officer. So if you don't know the legal contracts that are present in your current organization, how exactly will you minimize and manage the risk of the organization? So a cumulative and a properly managed view of all these contracts is very essential for every different department. And then if we talk about the higher level management in any organization, the CXOs, of course, then they have to have a quick glance of all the data that is going on in through the organization, right? They need to have a summary ready for any kind of purpose that they might require. But the data is entirely so fragmented and the process is so manual that nothing of that sort is available. So this, of course, creates a major issue, not just in one department, but across the entire organization.
So now that we've already had a look at the challenges, let's get to the solution. What exactly is the Jupitice Contract Lifecycle Management System?
So the Jupitice Contract Lifecycle Management System is a digital platform that actually takes care of a contract that comes into an organization for its entire life cycle, from contract creation to its expiry or its renewal, as the case goes, is all managed in that particular system in a single platform. So that platform enables a lot of things. It enables contract creation. So any kind of contract can be created in the system. It can handle negotiations for contracts. It includes the execution part using the e-signatures, the digital signatures. It handles any kind of approval workflows that go on throughout the organization hierarchy for any kind of contracts. Then, of course, the obligation as well as the compliance monitoring and tracking can be done within the system. And apart from that, and very crucial, I must say, is the analytics dashboard, wherein all the data that is within that system can be seen at a glance by the higher level management to make decisions and to get a quick summary of whatever is going on within the organization and all the contracts that are being managed throughout the organization. So that product actually enables a lot of organizations to make not just better decisions, but actually cut down on their losses as well.
Okay.
There are a lot of other features that provide a lot many advantages as well. There is a proper centralized repository across the organization wherein you can establish different kinds of users and provide them access based on their roles and their features and functionalities that might be required as per their work role. Apart from that, there are various AI features as well in this platform.
Okay.
So maybe you want to create the content for a specific clause of a particular kind of contract, or maybe you want to fetch some kind of data from different contracts, right? For, let's say, comparative analysis or for usage in another contract. So that can be done through our AI as well. So all these features make it a very smart system and make the lives of all the people using it much easier.
So if a corporate adopts the Jupitice CLM, what does the journey look like? And please walk us through the entire workflow.
All right. So when we talk about the Jupitice Contract Lifecycle Management system, there are approximately 7 to 8 key stages that are involved in the entire process of any contract when it enters an organization. So let's start at the beginning. So if we talk about anyone in the organization, say requesting a contract, let's say a person from the business team wants a contract drafted by the company, right? So they can request a contract on the system very easily. The forms are already pre-made. They can just fill in some very basic details that are required for the contract and just submit it. When they submit that form, it goes to the next stage. It goes to the relevant department wherein the contract creation will be done.
Okay.
And even for contract creation, you don't have to appoint a legal personnel to take care of every last word or every last clause. Because when it comes to a legal obligation, we have to be very critical of every word that is written, right? So the thing here is you can create contracts in just a few simple clicks. So you already have the details from your business department, right? There are some details that will be readily available as per standard part of your clauses, your templates, right? So there will be smart AI built templates in this system. And let's say you want an employment agreement built on your letterhead or on any different kind of format. So that template can be embedded into this system. And once you select the type of agreement that you want to build, you just click there, you fill in the numbers, the basic details that you want to fill, and you click on generate, and your entire agreement will be there available within a few seconds. And you cannot just create this, you can very easily edit these agreements as well. In case there are some clauses or some words that you want to alter in a particular agreement, you can very easily just click on amend and edit anything that you want to as per your requirements. The next stage, of course, in any contract is negotiation, right? You have to negotiate with the people that you're hiring on their packages, on the numbers. If you talk about vendors, there is negotiation involved there as well. If it's a licensing deal, again, numbers are always involved. So when you talk about negotiation, there can be proper real-time video calling feature. There is a proper real-time video calling feature that can be used for negotiating different kinds of things with any stakeholders in the system or outside the system.
Okay.
Apart from that, after these negotiations or even during these negotiations, you can see all the documents, all the relevant clauses as a part of the meeting summary as well. And you can actually redline these clauses. You can compare different clauses by extracting them through the AI features that are built into the system, and very easily and very simply use these features to create the perfect contract that suits not just you, but the other person, the third party as well. Moving forward from negotiation comes the execution part, right? You have to have some proper signatures that have to be done. After the approval has gone through, it has gone through the entire hierarchy, you have to get the signatures done. You have to get it stamped by your company head. And so that's why we have the e-sign feature available within the system.
Okay.
And this e-sign, you don't always have to have DSC in there. We are also integrated with eMudra, and there is a very easy option to use Aadhaar-based e-signature, wherein you enter your Aadhaar number, you enter your OTP that comes on your registered number, and then your document will be automatically signed there.
Okay.
So that actually gives very easier access. You don't because not a lot of people have DSC available, right? If I talk about myself, I don't have a DSC. You might not either. So of course that helps in those scenarios. Moving forward, if you talk about compliance or obligation monitoring, let's say when a document is made, when an approval process has gone through, I need to send it out to the finance or the admin department after the DSC has taken place and the document has been signed and completely done. That document needs to go now to the admin department.
Interesting.
And the admin department then needs to get it stamped per se. So now on the system, if you send that send to admin department button, it goes directly to the head of the admin department, wherein they can allot the resource that has to take care of it. And now with the deadlines that are already set in the system, you can very easily track if the work is being done on time. And even if the work is not being done, you can actually see who is responsible for that particular work, and you can actually directly contact them and simply get it done. And apart from that, let's talk about a general employment agreement, let's say. So there are a lot of legalities that go into any kind of contract, right? So the labor laws might change. There could be some new functionalities or new contractual agreements that might be set in place by the government, right? For any kind of employment agreement. So there is a lot of compliances you have to make sure are in place as well. So our system actually helps with that as well. The compliances can be automatically managed in the system. And the best of all, as I said before, you can get the summary of all the contracts that are being managed on this centralized repository at a glance in form of very colorful and very artistic graphs, maybe bar charts, maybe pie charts.
Something good to look at also.
Yes, good to look at and very informative. Let's say you have 1,000 contracts. Take 1,000, may say 500 may be due for renewal in the next week. Maybe 10 are due for renewal in the next month. You can have a small little cute sa calendar. There'll be dates marked with the renewal wala logo or maybe expiry wala logo as well as you want it. And you can very easily track that which contracts are actually due for renewal or expiry or what all obligations are pending from your end and need to be taken care of. So all this actually makes sure that the processes are not just smooth, but they're very efficient. And these strategic contracts are actually not causing any losses per se and making everyone's life smoother.
Efficiency and aesthetics both being taken care of.
Yes. So apart from all that, there is also version control, secure access, and proper audit trails maintained of everything that is being done on the system. All this ensures proper transparency, zero missed applications, and very, very, very much faster contract cycles.
That sounds really powerful. But what difference does it actually make when an organization it implements it?
So let me talk from what I have seen personally with the clients who have implemented the Jupitice CLM in their organizations. So they actually told us that they have witnessed better coordination and collaboration between the different departments involved in the process. So the contracts have to go through the legal departments, the finance, the admin departments, right? So there was proper coordination and quicker workflow approvals for all the things that were being done in the system due to the single platform that they used in the organization. Besides that, the dependency of all the manual work on the legal teams, on the legal personnel was reduced drastically. And when you see these changes, you can also see that the visibility of all the obligations and the compliances that need to be followed in the organization for these contracts increased actually to a complete 100%. And then there was 0% missing of any renewals or any deadlines or dates due to the system because there are automatic alerts that are sent to your phone, to your emails, and you get those pop-ups in your system as well as notification systems. Apart from that, with all this, they were able to see 50% faster contract creation and approval workflows in the organization. So that enabled, of course, faster contract cycles. And when you talk about the legal and financial part of it all, there was a 40% reduction in all the legal issues that the company was facing due to these problems. And there was a drastic reduction in the financial losses of the company as well. So all in all, the contracts that used to be generally just a reactive document for any organization, they turned into a proactive governance tools for these organizations and enabled much more efficiency in all departments.
So you previously mentioned about AI. and AI is changing every industry. So how is it impacting the managing of the contracts?
All right. So AI, as you just said, it's changing every industry. It's a very powerful tool. And well, we have a lot of AI features in our CLM as well. So when I talk about AI, it's not just the features that have been embedded. We actually have a Sanya AI agent as well,
Okay.
which you can use as per your convenience, as per your requirement. So in case you want to extract something from a particular document, in case you want to extract like say the SLA part of 10 different documents, or even say 100 to 200 different documents, from this AI tool, you can very easily extract it from all your documents. You can have a comparative analysis of all the clauses in different documents. Apart from that, our AI enables you to use a transcription thing as well. So in case there is something, let's say, handwritten in a particular contract, in a particular document, so from that handwritten content, that AI can recognize that handwritten thing and give you a transcription of what is going on.
Okay.
In case you dictate something to the system, they can actually write it down using that voice to text feature that we have enabled in the system as well. Besides that, when we come to reporting and the analytics part of it all, so our AI actually gives you suggestions regarding the legal risks that that they can see in your contract. Let's say there is some term that is increasing the vulnerability of the company in any particular contract. So you will see the AI suggesting an alternate clause if you want. So the legal obligations, the legal vulnerabilities of any contract for the organization become very minimal just by using AI features that are completely embedded into the system. And these features can be modified as per your usage, as per your convenience. Apart from that, we also have a multilingual system. So in case you want to use some local or regional languages, let's say you are from Maharashtra and you want Marathi to be recognized into the system, that feature is also available in our CLM.
Okay.
So all these features, all in all, reduce the manual processes and the part that was being originally handled by the legal department. So now the legal department can focus on much more strategic decisions rather than just getting into the manual labor writing part of it all.
So Sanya, I really want to know what industries benefit from the CLM platform.
All right. So when we talk about contracts, as we discussed in the beginning, it is the core of every organization, right? Of every industry.
Yes.
Any type of organization, small, medium, large, any industry it could be from, they all require contracts,
Indeed.
right? We cannot function without them. So any company can actually benefit from using our CLM system.
Okay.
But if you try to think on who it would benefit the most for, let me just give you some examples of different kind of industries. So let's say if we talk about generally BFSI or the NBFCs in our country. So there are a lot of loan agreements that they have to go through on a daily basis. These could be loans given out to general individuals or business loan given out to people or to different companies, right? Then there are different vendor contracts, different partnership deals that are done on a daily basis in these industries. Apart from that, if you talk about the telecom or the IT sector, there are service level agreements involved in every kind of deal that they do. Then there is infra and procurement documentation and paperwork that goes into all of their dealings. If we talk about the manufacturing industry, supplier and vendor agreements are generally the bread and butter that they have to deal with on a daily basis. So all these industries obviously benefit from it. Even if you talk about just the retail and consumer-based enterprises, so it could be a warehouse agreement that they're dealing with. It could be a transportation thing that they have to take care of. It could be general cargo that has to be taken from one place to another. So any kind of company that is doing any kind of contract has to use this system. It gives them so many benefits and it makes managing all the things so much easier. And these are just the like private enterprises that we're still talking about. If we talk about government services, so they also have a lot of compliance tracking that needs to be done. They have a lot of procurement agreements that they have to take care of on a regular basis. So any kind of organization, any industry that has any kind of contracts in high lump sum amount, the numbers are higher, let's say, they can benefit effectively and drastically from using the CLM.
So now we're almost at the end of the session. So we'll move to the game segment to bring things on a lighter note. So the first game that we'll have is rapid fire.
All right.
clicking the answer that comes to your mind first. Okay, the first question is your favorite productivity tool.
I have to say ChatGPT and Gemini.
Okay, makes sense. Favorite workday beverage?
Let's make it a hot coffee at the start of the day.
Sure. That's my go-to as well. One corporate buzzword you secretly dislike.
Oh, I'm gonna have to think on that. There's so many.
Anyone. Anything that clicks
You
in
need
your
to
mind.
start taking more initiative.
Morning person or night owl?
Night owl, through and through.
One meeting that could always be an email.
Every meeting could be an email.
Okay. So what's the most used phrase in a corporate life?
So one that I hear a lot. कोई बात नहीं हो जाएगा.
Okay. Your ideal work from home snack.
Mexican trail mix.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So for the next round, we have Never Have I Ever.
All right.
So the first question is, never have I ever joined a meeting that could have been an email.
Oh, I wish I could say that, but I've joined all those meetings.
Very honest. Never have I ever pretended my internet was unstable to avoid speaking.
Never done that.
I thought all of us have been
I
there.
pretended that my mic was not working. So kind of on the same line.
Some sort of pretense.
Yeah.
Never have I ever forgotten to unmute during an important meeting.
I forgot to unmute myself, but wasn't so critical. So worked out fine. Not an issue there.
Never have I ever searched for a file for 30 minutes that was actually in my desktop.
Yeah, that I did just last month.
Okay. Never have I ever accidentally sent a message to the wrong office group.
Oh, yes, I did that too here.
You did?
Yeah, I
Would you
did.
like to talk about? Or maybe not.
It wasn't such a big scandal or anything.
Okay.
It was just a very small message that was supposed to go to my colleague. And I sent
Went
it
to
on
the
all of this group, where there's everyone.
Never have I ever said, let's take this offline just to end the discussion.
Yeah, I never had the courage to do that. So I stuck through the meetings.
Never have I ever checked emails during a meeting.
I checked WhatsApp as well, so
Yeah.
I think we all do that.
Yes, we do. So to summarize today's discussion, we firstly explored how the enterprises traditionally used to manage their contracts and the manual processes. Then we looked at how what the operational challenges the legal teams or the leadership teams or the procurement teams had faced. Then we also talked about how the contract lifecycle management system, it has structurized entire process, the visibility is more, and the automation of the entire process actually, along with the AI that is transforming the entire contract lifecycle globally. So at the end, would you want to add 2 cents of to this entire discussion?
All right. So firstly, I must say that was very well summarized.
Sure.
So just to put in my 2 thoughts in that, अगर अभी भी इतना challenges जो face हो रहे हैं and जितना वो होता है companies का betterment हो रहा है from using our contract lifecycle management system, आप इसको अपनी company में, अपनी organization में implement नहीं कर पाते हैं. I have to say that as a single person, जितना भी पैसा आप अपनी कंपनी के लिए बना रहे होंगे, जो भी आप उनके फायदे कर रहे होंगे, उससे ज़्यादा आप उनका लॉस और उनका वो होता है ना, रेवेन्यू में, लीगल में, हर तरह से घाटा ही करवाएंगे.
That's very well said. Sanya, thank you so much for joining us today and for those insights. And to everyone listening, contracts aren't just paperwork, they are the 3 R's. They define relationships, revenue, and risk. So every company that modernizes their contract infrastructure will be the one operating faster and smarter tomorrow. This is it for today in the Prodcast by Jupitice. I'm your host, Stuti. Do like, share, and comment, and stay tuned for the next episode.